Today we're going to talk a little bit about emotions, my emotions, your emotions, and how what we focus on is what we feel. If we're thinking back to some memories in the past that were good memories, happy memories, loving memories, then now in the present we find ourselves feeling happy. We feel the warmth, the love. On the other hand, if we're thinking back to memories that weren't so great, kind of bad maybe, sad memories, now and in the present, we start to feel that right here and now. So going forward today, I'm going to talk a little bit about how those memories in the past that we focus on can have an impact on what we're looking forward to in the future. So what I'm going to talk about here is emotional time travel. I know what everybody's thinking, hey Wayne, time travel doesn't really exist. Well, I really think it does. I'm not sure whether capsules have been created yet where we can hop in it and move from one time period to another. But inside of our mind, we have the ability to project ourselves either into the future or we can project ourselves into the past, into either positive or sad memories. And remember, what we focus on is what we're going to feel. And our focus can shift in a heartbeat, as so can our emotional experience. What I'm going to say is how we relate to the past and the future is going to determine how we are going to feel today in the present. So here's this young lady looking towards the future, looking confident and ready to carry on her journey and looking forward to the better days to come. When we are looking forward to the future, we have a vision of something bigger and brighter to come. Maybe we're looking forward to a holiday, maybe looking forward to a wedding coming up, starting a new job. When we have something positive and brighter to look forward to, i.e. a vision, generally speaking, we have a better, happier attitude in life. However, if we're looking forward to something in the future that we're not too happy about, something that we're kind of dreading, our feelings can be a lot different. Say perhaps if you can imagine a student looking forward to final exams, especially at a university level. The exams are coming up and the individual starts to stress and, oh, I didn't study enough, I didn't do enough of this, I should have asked the professor that, I should have done this, and they get all worked up, get all into this state of upsetness. And so they go to the doctor, they go to a mental health practitioner who says, oh my God, you've contracted the anxiety disease. So the answer is to give some kind of medication, like that's actually going to work. I'm not really sure that there's such a word as upsettedness, but look, what you focus on is what you feel. When we're looking forward to the future, and we're looking forward to something that is going to make us happy, something that's really positive in our world, then that's going to affect how we feel going into it. On the other hand, if we're looking forward to an event that we don't want to see happen, the worst case scenario, if you will, well, that's going to have ramifications of how we feel. Because what we focus on is what we feel. Emotions operate as simplistically as this. No health specialists, professionals, or experts are required to manage people's emotions. Self-management and self-regulation is all that is required. Not everyone on the planet needs to become a fully qualified psychologist to manage their emotions. Emotions are not an illness, they are just emotions. This is good news. Whether we accept it or reject it doesn't make it any less true. Think on this. When we look to the future, if I were to ask you to look ahead 12 months, picture the worst case scenario happening. Everything was to fall apart. Your relationship fell apart. You lose all your money. You lose your house. A zombie apocalypse happens and aliens come down and wipe out the world. And, some folks actually think this way, all kidding aside. But what I'm saying here is that we cannot feel anxious or fearful or apprehensive or nervous about anything that has happened in our past. Why? Because all anxiety is fear-based. We cannot feel fear about things that have already happened. It's all history. And history is just a memory. Good and bad things have happened in the past. All of our memories are positive or negative by nature. If we focus on bad, unhelpful, or hurtful experiences we've had, and we're drawing meaning from these hurtful, bad experiences, such as, I'm worthless, I'm unlovable, I'm not good enough, that bad thing happened to me back then, which means I am not good enough. Then we are catastrophizing in our thoughts how we are going to feel. We most likely will feel sad, perhaps borderline depressed. We feel down, we feel low. That goes hand in hand with what we focus on. When we look back to the past, all we're going to be considering are things that have already happened. Our memories. If we focus on the good and happy memories, well, we'll have good and happy emotions. If we focus on the bad, we're going to have sad ones. Now, the stories that we tell ourselves of these good and bad experiences, for instance, if we have focused more on the bad experiences, the story we tell ourselves in the present is that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, who's ever going to listen to me? Therefore, as we look forward to our future, we do so through a place of angst and apprehension and fear. We may say, how is it that I'm ever going to do anything greater in the future than I have already done in my past? Because I am not enough. I don't know if you've ever heard of the term imposter syndrome. This is not a clinical illness, but it is a state of mind. On the flip side of the coin, we have a superiority complex. We always experience this in the present moment when we are looking forward to the future. So if we're going to focus on all the positive things that have happened in the past, it might be here in the present that we think back to all the wins and all of the successes and all of the achievements we've accomplished throughout our life. Then we say here in the present, I've accomplished everything. Therefore, I'm invincible. I'm like Superman. I have a Superman complex going on. Some people end up setting themselves up for a massive and epic failure. So when that bubble bursts and they realize that they're not Superman and they can't accomplish everything that they want to achieve in life, they end up beating themselves up, completely disillusioned. And in the same way, some people who have looked to the past and told themselves things like, I'm useless, I'm worthless, I'm not good looking enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough, and all these kinds of things. Here in the present, we end up looking forward to our future and say, I don't know if I am ever going to be able to do the things I want to do with my life. Again, coming from this place can leave people with a real state or sense of aloneness and sadness here in the present. Are you catching on? We do this inside of our minds all the time, whether we are aware of it or whether we are not aware of it. I am going to boldly say that most people are not aware of this. Generally, our expectations of the future are based upon the outcomes we've already had in the past, whether this be much failure in the past or whether this be much success in the past. This is emotional time travel. How we relate to the past will determine how we relate to the future. Be this positive or be this negative. If one begins to see and understand this, a person can better regulate themselves. So take some time to consider this. How do you relate to the past? How do you relate to the future? Is your relationship with your future expectations a good one or a not so good one? And whatever your answer is, why? I hope you found this video interesting and you'll stop to think about how you conduct yourself with your own emotions going forward. And remember, what you focus on is what you feel. We'll see you in another video soon.